thank Mr. Kelvin Kong from Brunei for nominating me to speak here at the Global Conference and to speak at the annual meeting in Nashville last June. So yeah, good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon MDRT.
Good afternoon, MDRT.
Good afternoon Singapore. So today I'll be sharing with you a story about my life. I'll be sharing with you how I achieved my code of the table qualification in 3 months during the last 90 days of the year. I'll also be sharing with you how I achieved my MDRT year after year through the help and the guidance of the MDRT's whole person concept. The MDRT whole person concept has changed my life tremendously and has changed the lives of the people around me. I'll be sharing this with you through a story that has touched and inspired the lives of many. A story of hard work, a story of determination, and a story of not giving up despite any challenges and setbacks that we may come along the way. So most of the people think that I reached where I am today because of 2 main reasons. Number 1 is that because I know a lot of wealthy individuals. And number 2 is that because I came from a wealthy family background. Let me tell you straight, none of those are true. Both are not true. My truth is, I had my fair share of challenges, of obstacles, of difficulties, name it, tons and tons of different adversities in life. And like some of you here, I have also started from scratch. I started from zero, and I started with nothing. And this is my story. So I was born, I was raised, and I've completed my education in the Philippines. My parents had me when they were very young. And when I say young, my mom was 18. And if you think that's young, my dad was even younger. Anybody has a guess? 14, 15, 16? 14. No lah, just kidding. 17. He was 17, so my dad was 17 and my mom was 18. And because of that, they got separated when I was 3. Because maybe they're not yet ready for any responsibility. At the age of 7, my dad remarried, and as a fruit of that love, I had 6 more other siblings from my dad's side. Which means to say that my stepmother giving birth to a child every year for 6 years. How cool was that? Coincidentally, in that same year, my mom don't want to lose out to my dad. Same month and same year, I had my stepbrother. Well, she had my stepbrother. So growing up, I have always been the different one. I was the unwanted child. I have always been their brother from another father and their brother from another mother. I never had a permanent address. From primary 1 until primary 4, or from grade 1 until grade 4 in my elementary days, I was staying with my dad. And over the weekend, my mom will fetch me and I'll spend the weekends at her place. From primary 5 until primary 6, or from grade 5 until grade 6, I was staying with my mom. And vice versa, over the weekends, I'll spend time with my dad. But when I was 13, my mom started packing all my bags, all my stuff, all my clothes, and she sent me to my grandma's house, her mother. When we reached my grandma's house, she told me, Franz, from today onwards, you'll be staying with grandma. No other explanations. No timeline until when. No reasons. She just left, and it got me wondering, how can the rest of my siblings get to stay with both of our parents? And here I am, with my grandma, just the 2 of us. So I was so devastated. I mean, at the age of 30, you at least need someone, any of your parents, to be by your side. And I was there with my grandma, just the two of us. But you know what? I just followed the will of the wind and the wave of life. I just stayed with my grandma during my entire teenage years. And then from 2009, I moved here in Singapore for internship. I moved here with no family members, no close friends, no network, no money. I was just surviving with a plate of chicken rice every day and a cup of soya bean. And just to share with you, I've been delivering tops since 2009. Thank you. And these are my audience. Plates, bowls, cups, spoons and forks and glasses every single day. I was working in the food and beverage industry for 6 years before finally switching gears in the financial services industry. I had to work for 12 hours every single day, from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. And on alternate Saturdays, I had to work from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. That is 16 long hours, twice a month. I had to wash at least 150 sets of tableware every day. When I say 150 sets, it means one plate, one bowl, one spoon, one fork, one knife, one glass. 150 sets, minimally every day. That was my life for 6 years. This was me 15 years ago with my audience. I was so dirty. And at the end of every shift, I had to count on money that is not mine. I can still vividly remember when I was 21, I used to work for a family-owned restaurant here in Singapore. I was actually asked to scrub the in-between of that floor tiles. And I can tell you that this was the lowest part of my life. Why? Because growing up, my uncles and my aunties and my elder cousins, will always tell me, Franz, you just have to complete your university. You just want to make sure that you complete your education, and then a good and better life will be waiting ahead of you. So I was so excited. And I was so excited of moving here in Singapore because all my life, there was no sense of belonging. I was unwanted. Nobody wanted me in the Philippines, I feel. So I was so excited to move here in Singapore, hoping that I will find a family here. And then here I am, sitting in front of a dirty tiles for the next 3 days, 150 seating capacity restaurant, doing this over and over again for the next 3 days. I didn't expect that life would be this tough. I was telling myself, how can life be this tough? I mean, I'm not from a rich family. I'm from a low middle class family, but we're not starving, We're not rich, but I'm not doing any household chores. So I was so surprised of coming here and doing all of these things. And there was a time that I even attempted to end my own life. Multiple times. Because I was so frustrated. I wanted to go back home, but I don't want to go back home. I wanted to stay, but I don't want to do this anymore. So there's no more choice for me. But you know what? I guess my mindset was greater than my fears and my worries. I was thinking that maybe I'm just being prepared for something greater. Maybe I'm just being prepared for something more important. Maybe I'm just being prepared for the next breakthrough of my life. Anyway, I'm just 21. So I just continue day in and day out. I just come to work, scrub these floor tiles for the next 3 days, and keep on washing those plates every single day. It was 6 versus 200. It was just the 6 of us versus 200 customers minimum every single day. And on a Good Friday and Saturday, it will even rise up to 500 to 1,000 guests. Very tiring, very, very tiring. But you know what? Despite all of these challenges that I faced in my early years here in Singapore, I also realized that I have a passion for service. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy being of help to other people. So what I did was in 2014, in 2014, I joined a recruitment seminar. So my friend called me and asked me, if I'm interested to come to their company's recruitment seminar. So what I did next was I went to go shopping. I went to buy nice shirt, new leather shoes, and a new leather bag. And during that recruitment seminar, which may sound familiar to all of you, people were talking about good compensation, work-life balance, flexibility, and travel the world for free. Sounds familiar, right? And then as we go back home after this session, we were walking back home, my friend asked me, "So Franz, what do you think about this session?" I told my friend, "Hey Krija, this is a scam. This is fake. Where can you find a career that will give you a work-life balance, a good compensation, and send you out the world for free? This is fake. I still have to work early tomorrow. I'll be going back home." So I went back home, slept through it, and then asked myself, what if it's really, what if the industry is not really a scam? Or what if this is the breakthrough that I've been waiting for? So the next morning, I called my friend, "Hey Krisha, I'm ready to be scammed. Sign me up, I want to join the industry." So I went to their office and sat down with the boss and applied. But you know what happened next? I was not hired. I was not hired maybe because during that time, I was not fit for the role, or I was not the right person that I'm looking for. But you know what? I always believe that everything happens for a reason. And I also believe in second chances. So I tried again and applied again, and on September 1st of 2015, I finally got my license as one of the financial services professionals in Singapore. Thank you. And after 3 months of the first 3 months training course of the company, I found myself to become the third runner-up in terms of number of cases. Thank you. So I was jumping with joy. I was so happy. Why? Because all my life, all my adult working life, I was just scrubbing floor tiles and got promoted to become a dishwasher. And here I am now, wearing that nicely ironed suit and being recognized for something that I have done. So I was so happy and thinking that finally, I'm doing something right. But I was wrong. Because there is still a KPI to achieve. So my target when I first started was 3,000 Singapore dollars, or probably 2,200 US dollars first year commission every single month. On my first month, I didn't close any case, and by the end of my third month, I did not achieve my target. So what happened next was my associate director came up to me and told me that Franz, you'll be out of the company. I was so worried. Why? Because I completed my papers for 8 months. On average here in Singapore, we have to clear 4 modules. Most of the people will clear it in 1 to 2 months. Some even clears it in 2 weeks. You're mad, Katrina. She cleared it in 2 weeks. I cleared mine in 8 months because, as you know, I never had the luxury of time. So I can only study for 2 to 3 hours every single day. What will I tell my clients? I already told them that, bro, you don't have to worry. Until we're 65, I'll be here for you. I'll take care of your retirement fund. And then the next thing that they will know, I'm out of the industry. Where else can I go? I don't want to go back and wash plates again. So what I did was I went back and come up with a personal reflection. I started asking myself 3 questions. Am I really giving my 100%? Am I really serious about this? Or I guess the most important question that I asked myself was that, am I hungry enough? Was I hungry enough to make this work? Was I hungry enough to achieve my target? Or was I hungry enough to achieve my first MDRT? So I did a change of mindset and came up with a strategy and a goal for myself. So I started making a habit. I started waking up 7 a.m. in the morning, clearing my exercises. From 9 a.m. till 12 noon, I'll do my admin works. From 12 noon, I'll meet the first client. 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., I'll be doing my approaches. And then from 6 p.m. up until 11 p.m., I will be meeting my clients. Why? Because last time I had to work from 7 a.m. up until 11 p.m., mopping the floor, throwing rubbish, washing the dishes and everything. Now I just have to sit in front of the client, sit in front of my laptop, in front of my iPad. What's so difficult about that? And the most important thing is that I'm sharing with them how I can value add to them and how I can help them and their family to change their lives. I started asking someone to mentor me. How can you ever go wrong with someone who has completed his MDRT year after year for 29 years? And actually, I also want to take this opportunity to thank my great mentor for making me the person I am today. So boss, can I ask you to please stand?
Whoa!
I want to introduce you my great mentor. Thank you so much, boss, from the bottom of my heart for all those years of your patience and for trusting in me and for changing my life. But I guess the most important thing that I want to tell you is that thank you so much for being my family here in Singapore. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being my father. Thank you. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate you so much. I started looking for a buddy. You know, like this industry and this career can be very sad. So I started looking for someone who shares the same goal and share the same vision as mine. I started tracking my sales and my clients. I created an Excel sheet for myself showing the names of my clients, the names of the products that they bought, the names of the products that they never buy, the total first year premium that they paid, the first year commission that I received, and the annualized premium of that policy. In that case, I will know where I stand. If I'm behind, I have to double up. And if I'm ahead, I shouldn't be complacent. I started talking to producers. I started knocking on every MDRT doors of MDRT qualifiers in my company, asking them if they have 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Just want to ask them, how do they do their opening presentation? How do they ask for referrals? And what's their normal day like? I'm not sure if Romel is in the room. Is Romel in the room? No, he's not here. But he's one of those person that I always disturb and always check with him. What's his sales concepts and sales ideas. I joined all big groups possible. Remember, I was not born here. I moved here during my teenage years. And based on how I understood the career, I have to be in front of people. I need to have a network and I need to have a community. So what I did was I created a community and I created my own network. I joined every big groups possible. I joined a soccer group. I joined a badminton group. I joined a wall climbing group. I created a cycling group. I joined a marathon group. I joined a volleyball group. I joined a dance ministry in the church. And believe it or not, I started joining a Friday date night group. And then every Friday and Saturday afternoon, I will go back to the office, carrying all of the leads I have collected for that week, and do my callings. So I started manifesting that I will achieve my goals with all these strategies set in place for myself. And guess what? I have closed a total of 690 total cases from 2016 to 2019. Thank you. This was from 2016 till 2019. And this was the start of the many breakthroughs in my life. I have achieved my first ever MDRT qualification. Thank you. And a back-to-back Centurion, which is the highest honor given to a financial services consultant in our company. But I was not prepared for the biggest breakthrough that I will face in a changing world. I found myself in Q4 of 2020 with 90,000 Singapore dollars first year commission gap to achieve my code of the table target. I remember during the start of the year, I called my boss and I told him and I promised him that I wanted to achieve COT for this year. So amidst pandemic, people were locked down, we can't do face-to-face. My boss called me one afternoon and asked me, "So Franz, how's your COT coming along?" Told him, "Yes boss, I'm on track." Then I sat down with my buddy at my house. You see that $30,379 Singapore dollars, first year commission in a single month for 3 months. I'm like, how do I even achieve this? I have never ever done $30,000 first year commission in a single month. As you know, I'm from the service sector, and most of my clients and my friends are from the service sector. So which means I'm servicing 99% mass market people. My average case size is about $800 per case. So how can I achieve 90,000 Singapore dollars or 70,000 US dollars in 3 months? So what I did was I called Miss Winnie. Miss Winnie Cha is another code at the table qualifier from my company. And I just wanted really to sit down with someone and talk to someone who was already qualified for COT and just hear that encouragement and tell me that, Franz, you don't have to worry, COT is achievable, you can achieve that. So I asked if she has 10 minutes over Zoom. Then during that Zoom session, she asked me, okay, Franz, I'm very detailed, I'm a very detailed person. She brought up her pen and paper, then she asked me, so can you tell me what's your gap and what's your goal? But actually during that time, I already have a game plan. I already have a strategy, which I'll be sharing with you later on. I just want to hear from her that this is possible and this is doable. So she asked me, how much is your gap? So I told her, Miss Winnie, it's 90,000 Singapore dollars. So she started writing 1900. Then I stopped her. Told her, Miss Winnie, it's 90000. And what she did next was, she dropped her pen, she looked in front of the camera, and gave me this stare. I tell you, my dream shattered. But after I shared with her the game plan, she anyway encouraged me, and she believed that I'll be able to achieve the COT. And I see her here now, so may I please take this opportunity to request Miss Winnie to please stand up. So thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for believing that I'll be able to achieve my first COT. And she gave me this present, this shining, shimmering letter F here that signifies fighter and fearful. So after that, this was October 6th of 2020, I sent a message to her. Thank you very much, Miss Winnie. 90,000 Singapore dollars is very big for 3 months, but I'm very positive. I believe in law of attraction. One of these days, I will close a miracle case for sure. Thank you for your time and all the best for your TOT. Because during that time, she was also running for her very first top of the table qualification. And I'm very happy to share with you that she has achieved her first ever top of the table qualification. Thank you, Ms. Winnie. We just need that one person who will inspire us that this is possible and this is achievable. I had Romel, who helped me and inspired me and made me believe that MDRT is possible. I had Miss Winnie and my boss, who made me believe that COT is possible and achievable. So is this even possible? Again, 30,000 Singapore dollars in a single month. My game plan was instead of $90,000, instead of focusing on $90,000, I got myself to focus on closing 1,000 Singapore dollars every single day. So that's about $750 commission every single day. Now it sounds more achievable to me. Instead of thinking about that $90,000 or $70,000 commission, now I'll just have to focus myself on closing 1,000 Singapore dollars every day. Sounds achievable? No? Yes. Sounds more achievable, right? It's edible now. I told myself that I have to sit down with 3 unique individuals every single day. 3 new prospects every day to share with them what I do about the emergency cash account. So $150 per month or $200 emergency cash account. 200 Singapore dollars emergency cash account every single month. What is emergency cash account? ECA is my innovative and creative way to approach people if they already have life insurance or critical illness or even retirement planning set in place for themselves. Because if I will ask people, have you already set up your life insurance policy? Have you already set up your critical illness policy? I will just get a yes or a no. But if I will ask them, Mr. Prospect, have you already set in place your ECA? I will get a what is that? So Mr. Prospect, ECA is an account that most of the people will set up here in Singapore to protect their life savings. So just in case you have to stop from working because of any illness, your salary will have to continue. And you have an option if you want a premium refund or if you don't want a premium refund in the years to come. It can be our term insurance, it can be our whole life insurance, it can be our investment link policy or VUL if you call VUL in your home countries. How did I convince myself? During that time, I had 362 clients on hand. My boss and my mentor told me, why don't you call all your clients and ask for 5 referrals each? So what I did was I called every single of my clients and received minimum 1,810 leads. What are the odds that I will not achieve my target, my COT target, if I just need 90 people that will give me $1,000 commission every day and I have 1,800 leads? I started targeting my niche market. I realized that I have a very strong connection with the Filipino community in Singapore. And during this time, there were 200,000 Filipinos in Singapore. What are the chances that I will not achieve my COT if I just need 90 people and I have 200,000 people over here? And if there's still that one day that I will wake up thinking that this is impossible, I will just think that there is 5.6 million people in Singapore. What are the odds that I will not achieve my COT if I just need 90 people and there's 5 million people out there? So now I'll be sharing with you my simple closing process that led me to closing hundreds of cases and led me to my first ever COT. So I always feel that my strength is making things simple. And in what we do, I always feel that our role as financial professionals is to make sure that we simplify things as much as possible to make it tidbits to our clients, all the complexities and all the things that complicates them. So this is my step-by-step closing process. Number 1 is propose based on needs. So this process will happen after the fact finding. So this guy is an actual client who was 26-year-old male, non-smoker, and his main concern was critical illness coverage for income replacement, and he just wants a coverage he wants a coverage from early stage up to the major stage with no cash value, means just pure cover, or in our terms, it's a term insurance. He told me that he just have a budget of $50 per month. But during our fact finding, I know that this prospect has the capacity to set in place the right solution for himself to have that 5 years worth of income replaced. So what I did was to get him to focus on his target and on his concern. I highlight clients' concerns and break them down into a monthly figure. So I will ask client, Mr. Chen, can I check with you how much do you need on a monthly basis if you will have to stop from working tomorrow? How much will be enough for you if from tomorrow onwards you'll have to stop from working because of illness? And then he told me that he just needs $3,000 per month. Why 2 years? Although we know that we have to plan for at least 5 years to 10 years worth of income replacement, as you know, he only had a budget of $15. So I can only plan up to 2 years for term insurance. Next one is eliminate term, because I know that he has the capacity to pay. So I started talking to him about the limitations and the benefits of having term insurance. So Mr. Chen, if you will focus yourself on the first row, yes, this is within your budget. You just have to put in $41 per month, and this will indeed give you your $3,000 monthly income replacement for the next 2 years. But the coverage will end from age 75 years old. The second row will give you the same coverage. You have to put in $186 per month, but the coverage will end at age 85. Upsell to whole life or ILP or VOL, whatever you call it. Mr. Chen, if you will focus yourself on the third and fourth row, the fourth row, you will have to pay beyond the budget, I understand. You have to put in $249, but this will give you your $3,000 per month for the next 2 years, up until age 100 years old. and it will give you an option for a premium refund of roughly 173,500 projected rate of return should your investment grows at 8%. So at the end of this process, Mr. Chen chose the fourth option, which is the $249 per month. Because again, I know that he has the capacity, and I just highlighted to him how this policy and how this solution can help him and help his families. But it did not stop from that. I closed monthly and I pushed for an annual premium. I went back to the client, showing him these options. Mr. Chen, if you will see, we already agreed that you will do the $249 per month, $3,000 per month for the next 2 years. But I want you to focus on the first row, which is $400 per month. I know that this is way beyond the budget already. But this will give you an income replacement of $3,000 per month, which you need and you require for the next 5 years. And then I will share a story. I have this client who's a 36-year-old female IT professional working in a multinational company. Last year, July of 2016, she was diagnosed with cancer. And she only set in place 16 months worth of income replacement for herself. And I don't want that to happen to any of my clients anymore. So I'm encouraging you, Mr. Prospect, that if you have the capacity to do this now, might as well set this in place for yourself. So by the time you need it, you have your 5 years worth of income replacement. And at the age of 16, should you want to surrender the policy, you have roughly $247,000 of premium refund if your fund performs at 8% projection. So from a $50 per month budget, I have moved this client to pay $4,800 first year premium by just highlighting to him the benefits and the solutions to his concern. And this is what I call as my $100 project. Because for every $100 extra monthly premium that the client pays, it will give me an additional of $90,000 first year premium without prospecting more people, without doing any other thing. I feel that this is one of the simple ways of achieving MDRTs and achieving COT. And what happened next was, by the end of October, I was targeting $30,000 first year commission. I was so surprised. For the first time in my life, in my financial services career, I have achieved $30,778 first year commission in a single month. This is something memorable to me, and it's a milestone for me because I never had any high net worth people. All of these are from mass market people. So I just continued my belief and my determination, that I will achieve this goal, that I will achieve my target with these strategies and this goal set in place for myself. With that, I have closed a total of 127 total cases, and by December 31, 5:30 in the afternoon, I was on the way to my friend's house for the New Year's Eve dinner. I received a call from my boss telling me that I have indeed achieved my first ever COT guarantee. It was the biggest experience. I was crying inside a Grab car because it was really so tiring, honestly. Like every day coming up with proposals, every day coming up with recommendations. You know what? I realized over the years that we have so much opportunities in this changing world. We just need to have a strong mindset, and everything else will follow. We just have to discover our strengths and use it to our advantage. In my case, I'm someone who's outgoing. I enjoy being with people, so I join every big groups possible. You can do that to yourself. I just have to be creative and differentiate myself from others. If I will just be out there asking people if they have set in place their life insurance, if they have set in place their critical illness policy, I will be no different to any other 15,000 financial professionals in Singapore. So I came up with the emergency cash account, which I have learned at the MDRT Global Conference in Sydney, which now is not very creative anymore because I always share this to people. So let's go out there and tell people about EZA, emergency cash account. Because I always feel that, people will have the negative connotation and misconception when we say the word insurance or policy or everything. So at least for the first 1 minute, try to open their minds about the emergency cash account. If they ask us, is this an insurance policy? Then I will tell them, yes, this is in a form of insurance. Comfort zones. I'm just someone who's brave, and I just have that ability, I feel, to face every challenges that I face every single time. So I encourage all of you to please come out of your comfort zones. You are staying in your own home countries. You stay with your family members. No one ever is growing inside their comfort zone. So please come out of your comfort zones and grow. And the second to the last thing that I want to share with you is to give back. I always believe, and I always tell myself about what my mom told me, to always give back and to always be grateful to every single individual and to all the people who has helped you along the way, all the way up. This is myself. Most of my weekends, I will contribute 1 to 2 hours of my time to give back to the Singapore society, to Singapore communities, to share my time and to give back to the community. These are some of the charitable organizations closest to my heart, which is I am an active donor and active volunteer. Because I just feel that this is the least that I can do to give back and to thank Singapore and every Singaporeans for welcoming me for the past 15 years here. So to every Singaporeans out here, please know that I appreciate and I just want to thank you for welcoming me and for loving me here for the past 15 years. Thank you very much. And last but not least, the power of manifestation. The power of manifestation is powerful enough that it can change our life and the lives of the people around us. I did this in January of 2018 during our annual goal setting. My boss asked us to draw your goal and to draw your dream for the next 3 years. So I came up with a condominium unit, a brand new car, and the MDRT logo because I wanted to achieve COT in my lifetime. Why condominium unit? I share with you that my mom is just a normal bank employee, low middle class family, so I'm very sure that she has not set in place a retirement fund for herself. She has not even set up a house for herself. Up until 2019, she was renting house. Because why? For the past 20 years, she was just so busy financing me and my brother to at least send us to comfortable schools and good private schools. So I just wanted to buy a house for her, so at least I can give back for all the love that she has shared with me over the years. And little did I know that I will be able to do that in less than a year. I was able to provide a brand new house for my mom, a brand new house for her. This is how I give back to my mom for all the love that she has given me over the years. I mean, I know that growing up was rocky, growing up was challenging. It was not the typical family setup that I experienced. But I still love her, I love my mom to death. I love my mom to bones. And I just want to thank her in every single and little way possible that I can do for her. This was myself in July of 2020. This was during the research and development and R&D of a then business plan to help out my brother. One of my brother from my dad's side actually stopped from schooling, and I just thought of helping him out, coming up with a bubble tea business concept, like a small bubble tea concept. So this was the food cut. It was just $1,000 capital. But at the back of my head, I was just thinking, this is for my brother. I just wanted to help him. But I was thinking, I also wanted to give back and help out the underprivileged Filipinos in the Philippines. So I was, just daydreaming that, hopefully one day this small business can be turned into a big company and provide livelihood to the underprivileged Filipinos. And little did I know that in less than 2 years, we have opened up 21 operating outlets within Metro Manila. These 21 operating outlets in Metro Manila, from an initial intention of providing a job from one person, which is my brother, I'm very happy to share with you that at its peak, we have created and provided jobs to 125 different individuals. These 125 different individuals translates to 125 underprivileged families. And it melts my heart to know and to realize that, someone like me, who was once helpless, who was once searching for guidance and who was once searching for help, is now being able to provide help and livelihood to those people who are in need. And I really hope, I'm really hoping that one day, someday, that if any of these baristas, if any of these team members, our ex-team members, will ever get the chance, when they're established enough, when they're capable enough, I really hope that they can also share the goodness to other people. And I really hope that they can continue helping love and sharing love to other people like how we did for them. All of these I have done through the guidance and the help of the MDRT whole person concept. I ever heard from a very great speaker that we should not find and create work-life balance. We should instead create a work-life harmony. So I started incorporating these 7 aspects of of the whole person concept in my life. In form of health, making sure that I have a sound body and mind to make sure that I can still do my productions and my business regularly. In terms of education, making sure that I still go out there and learn constantly to make sure that I'm able to provide the right advice to my clients and to my consultants. In terms of service, providing service and providing that positive impact to the community to make sure that we influence others to give back in our own communities. In terms of finances, how I become and how I lead by example to my clients and to my advices to the rest of the people. This was myself in 2019, I guess. I ran an 11 for 11 campaign to give back to the Society for the Aged Sick, which are the charitable organization for elderly here in Singapore. I raised $6,200 cash for these individuals. This is to give back to my grandmother, who really raised me and loved me over the years. In terms of relationship, thank you. In terms of relationship, making sure that we spend quality time with the people who matters most. In terms of spiritual, in this case, I joined our church's music ministry and dance ministry to align my values to my work and to make sure that I'm on track to the greater heights. And last but not the least, in terms of career, on how we collaborate with our peers, with our co-MDRT members, to make sure that we learn from one another and continue inspiring and transpiring that MDRT spirit to any other MDRT aspirants and any MDRT members, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. So before I end this, I just want to share with you that anything and everything is possible if we will believe. So let's watch this short clip depicting on how I made the impossible possible.
Alright, it's day 7. It's exactly 1 week since I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy. And this is how my face looks like now. So if I do a full smile, it will be like this. I'm raising from my eyebrows. I can slowly control the left part of my eyebrow. I just came back from an acupuncture session. It was kind of painful though.
In February 2019, I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy. The entire left side of my face was paralyzed. I was in total shock, and a lot of worries came into my mind. I had to shut my eyelid with a tape before bedtime. I cannot eat and read properly, and the worst is, it was so difficult to talk. I was worrying that I will have to miss my personal production for that year, but I did not stop. I continued my life and did the necessary adjustments. I still tried to give life a smile. I still go out to play sports, and I still meet my clients. But instead of 3 per night, I was only doing 1, because I need to continue my mission to to save more and more lives. Despite my condition, I still became the top district consultant because I believe that if we transform, it's okay to walk, but do not stop in life. On that same year, I injured my left knee, my ankle, and I got food poisoning more than 3 times. I spent a total of 3 months recovering from all those, but I was still opening cases even through calls, and I never stopped updating my clients. As a result, I have achieved my first ever FinSal award because I believe that the difficulties we face on our way to success are detours that make us fight for our dreams even harder. I always thought that it was impossible to march in this red carpet as it was only meant for the top achievers every year. But because of my determination and consistency, I was able to become part of the top few the following year because I believe that the path to our dreams is not always the smoothest. When I was young, my dream was to become a pilot and travel the world. I always tell my mom that I will bring her to every travel destination. I obviously did not fulfill that dream of becoming a pilot, but I was able to bring my mom and celebrate her 50th birthday in her dream travel destination. Today, I have seen 30 over countries and close to 100 cities, because I believe that the dream is the first step to making any goal possible. 12 years ago, when I first came to Singapore, I had nothing. The only audience I had to face were my customers and hundreds of plates daily. Fast forward to 2019, I was given the chance to speak to thousands of international delegates in Sydney, Australia. And now, over a year later, I am speaking at the Asia Pacific Life Insurance Congress, hoping to inspire thousands more. Each of us deserves a happy, successful ending. Sometimes with luck, but success is no accident. It's up to us to put in the work, to be fearless, to be consistent, to be brave, and finally, to believe in yourself and trust that, like me, a young boy who started from scratch, decided to make the impossible possible.